Benvenuto. Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to do another crock pot recipe. We're going to do honey garlic chicken in the crock pot. Now, looks like we have lots and lots of ingredients here. And there is, because they were all in little containers. But there are a couple things I wanted to go over a little bit in detail with the preparation of this. Okay, so first thing, we're going to need some chicken. All right, now, for this recipe, I usually use between 2.5 to 3 pounds of chicken thighs or drumsticks. I usually do get the skin on and the bone in for this recipe. Now, one of the things I wanted to go over was I do brown these. And I generally brown almost all meat I ever do in the crock pot. You do not have to 100%, no, I'm just going to say that. You don't have to brown it if you choose not to. Now, the reason I brown it is it's that extra added layer of flavor. Also for presentation-wise, I think it looks much better. But so before we go on to the rest of the ingredients, so we're just going to lightly salt and pepper. As you can see, I've browned most of them. We'll brown a couple as we're demonstrating. So just lightly brown salt and pepper one side of your chicken. And I don't know if that's not quite hot enough, so we'll talk a little bit more. All right, so we're gonna brown these up. And you only have to brown the one side. If you're using chicken thighs or whatever, chicken wings, whatever you're using, you really just want to get the top skin nice and brown. If there's any on the other side, brown it up a little bit, because that also helps release some of the fat, and it will stay in your pan. All right, so we're waiting for that to heat up. I lost my train of thought. But, we're going to go on with the ingredients. All right, guys. So we need some salt and pepper, and again, the measurements will be in the recipe, and also Wade will put them in the description. We need some oregano and salt and pepper. So what we're going to do with that is I've got 16 ounces of little potatoes, baby potatoes, nibble potatoes, whatever they call them. I'm going to put them in that pan, that bowl right there. All right, and then we need 1 large onion. All right, now this is only a half of a red onion because I can't believe I didn't have any onions. So anyway, I'm just gonna use a half of a medium-sized red onion, but it really should be a large sweet onion. All right, so anyway, I'm gonna just slice that up. Doesn't have to, you can dice it if you want. I'm just gonna slice it into little strips like this. It will, this is gonna go in the crock pot, of course, so that's gonna cook for a long time. So then we're gonna put that in there. All right, and then what I like to do is I take my salt and pepper and oregano. We'll throw it in our bowl and we'll toss it around. Now, you can do this right in the crock pot, of course. You guys know me, sometimes I'm a little obsessive about this stuff. I just think that in the bowl, I can make sure that everything is nicely coated in our seasoning. It's a little harder to see in the crock pot. And we can put right there for now. That's gonna take forever to heat up because I didn't plug it in. All right, so I was wondering why those little lights weren't coming on when I first looked at it. All right, so now, of course, this is honey garlic chicken, which the garlic makes it absolutely delicious, of course. All right, so in this container, I have all of my other ingredients, okay, which consists of olive oil. Now, this is one of the times you want to use a good extra virgin olive oil, all right, because this is going to go in your recipe. You're not using this to fry. You're using this for the flavor it's going to add. So extra virgin olive oil is going to give you that nice flavor you're looking for. You can use a lime or a lemon. I prefer using a lime in this, but if you've got a lemon, certainly use lemon. Then for our honey glaze, which is delicious. And by the way, you could use this glaze for just about anything. You can make this, just do it as its own standalone little thing. You could glaze, bacon with it and it would be delicious. All right, so, but anyway, we need, of course, some honey. We're gonna need sweet chili sauce, soy sauce, some Dijon mustard. You can also use a nice spicy golden browns mustard if you want to add a little spice to it. And we need some brown sugar, light or dark, does not matter. All right, I've got it in our, got all the liquid ingredients in my container. And I'm just gonna add our garlic. All right, we're gonna go in a few seconds and pick up this mess, but I just wanted to kind of start this. All right, and then I just give it a good mix. All right, we can set that aside for a moment. All right, so I've got my pan is a little bit more heated up. So anyway, I'm gonna throw, let's actually turn it up a little bit more. Our potatoes and everything are good. All right. Now I'm not going to get a nice sizzle on this because it's not really hot enough, but it will. No sizzle. There's a little sizzle. All right. So again, you just want to brown that really, really good on. You can see this. There is a good amount of skin on the backside, so I am going to flip that over and brown that up to really good too. But to get it really nice and brown like this, I mean, this is nice and crispy. Now that is going to get, it's going to not be quite as crispy after we're done cooking it, but I just think the presentation is so much better. All right, we're going to brown that up. I'll show you what it looks like when we take it out of the frying pan, which it should look just like that. But that's going to take a good 5 minutes on each side, guys. I would not even less. 5 minutes is not even near enough time unless you cook it on a really, really high temperature. All right, we'll be back in a bit. All right, guys, rest of our 2 chicken pieces are nicely browned on either side. Of course, a little bit, you can't get every side of a chicken leg, but anyway. All right, so let's go on with our recipe. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention, you might need a little bit of cornstarch or a cornstarch slurry if you want to thicken your sauce up at the end, but we'll see how that goes. So you want to give your crock pot a good spray of cooking spray all around. This is a honey-based recipe, so it does tend to stick. It'll help with cleanup a little bit. Or, I've never used those, they have the inserts for the plastic bags or whatever they're made out of for the crock pot. I've never used those, but all right. So then we want to give our potatoes a good stir. Get them in there. Scrape up some of the bits in here. And that's good. And then push them around all into, one layer. And then we can start with our chicken. And I like to just kind of place those on top. Maybe push them down a little bit between the potatoes. We should be able to get these on one layer. A lot of, times you hear crock pot recipes referred to as just dump and go. I don't know. To me, that doesn't elevate crock pot cooking or that term as high as it can be, because stuff in the crock pot is really good. And as you can see, we've taken some effort to put this all together and, chop up your ingredients and stuff. Oh, well, I'm speaking of quality. 2 things I want to say. I did not know. Well, of course, when we set up our YouTube channel, you have to, come up with an email address. And so we just emailed the address, the name of our channel. Well, I didn't realize that people could send me email from the site to that email address. So I never check it. Wade happened to check it a week or so ago, and he said, oh, there's quite a few emails in there. I said, oh my, I didn't know. So to anybody that watches us, please forgive me. No one has emailed in, probably a couple months. So some of them were kind of asking a question about something we did. So I apologize terribly. And if you're still interested in, some advice on it, let me know. And the other thing, the exciting thing is we have hit 500 subscribers. Yay! I know some people think, oh, big deal, 500 subscribers. Certainly, there are some out there that have hundreds of thousands and millions, but it's been a thrill for me and Wade to hit that 500 mark. When you think we started this little tiny channel just a couple years ago as a way to offset some of the burden of COVID and so on and so forth, and we've really enjoyed it. So anyway, thank you all for our 500 subscribers. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, give that a little mix, and we're just kind of pour this down. I'm not going to pour it right over the chicken if I can help it, but pour it down in between the spots. Now that may not seem like enough liquid, but this is going to, of course, the liquid itself, our sauce itself is going to thin out a bit. And, we're going to have some release of water and stuff from the chicken. All right, so now this should be fine at 4 to 5 hours, even 5 to 6. I don't know why, but it seems to me I always pick 7 hours on low. So actually, let's say that again. So I'm going to say 4 to 5 hours on high. Of course, give it a test. Your internal temperature on chicken should be 165, right? I got my chicken. What is it? I think it's 165. Poultry, 165. So you want your internal part at the thickest part of the meat to be at least 165, and it'll be done. But 4 to 5 hours should be good. I always let this go, I'm going to say 6 to 7. It's always going to be right around that 7-hour mark. This is a great Saturday crock pot, because if you and your family, or you and your significant other, or you yourself are just going to go out and spend the day, it's nice to throw this in the morning, you come home, and it'll be a nice hot meal when you get home, of course. All right, so we'll see you in 7 hours. But we're going to actually see you before that, because we're going to do we're going to tape another recipe this afternoon that I hope you guys will love as well. So anyway, we'll see you. It'll seem like it's been hours to you, but to us it's just going to be a minute. All right, we'll see you when our slow cooker garlic honey chicken is all delicious. All right, our honey glazed chicken should be cooked to perfection. Now, as you can see, our sauce is a bit thin. All right, so we're going to thicken it up. All right, so what I like to do is I like to remove the chicken, and it really going to fall right off the bone. So try to do it gently. And Wade, once we get this all in there, Wade can take a nice picture of that. How did that potato get in there? I'm going to leave the potatoes in. Look at how tender and juicy. And we got our 2 legs or drumsticks. You know what? I think I might take the potatoes out, or most of them, put them along the side, except that's getting extremely hot. And we're gonna have some peas with this. Smells good, huh? Almost. I don't think I'll have enough to go all around this big dish, so I'm going to put them on the one side. So we're going to do a slurry, and I happen to have a cup, half a cup, 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch and a 1/4 cup of water. I always do it that way. I don't know why. We probably don't need this much, but so we're going to put that in there. And so that's cold water. We want to just stir it around quick. No lumps. Now my sauce in there isn't quite boiling, but it should thicken it up quite nicely. And it did. Put a little bit more in. I don't necessarily want this to be a gravy. I want it to be a sauce. I'm going to do a little bit more. As I make a mess, that should be good. I don't need to adjust this for seasoning because we have a lot of different spices in there. And the salt and pepper, I'm sure I've made it up this way. So, all right, look at how beautiful that is. We'll just try not to make a mess. Pour some over our chicken. And then I'm going to take the rest of that and put it in a little bowl. So if we want some extra. All right, there you go. Honey garlic chicken in the slow cooker. Well, as always, the best part of cooking is the eating.
Yep.
We've got Halloween napkins tonight because we had a Halloween party last weekend, which thank you everybody for coming. We had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you all had a great time as well. Dig in. Now, I cheated a little. I did taste one of the potatoes. Now the one thing I did a little different, and that's how tender that is, is I used that a little bit of Creole seasoning. And while it's delicious, it does have a little tiny heat to it. Look at that. That's just
chicken. It falls off the bone. Wow.
That is delicious.
It is. All the spices on there.
Yep.
Melting your mouth.
No mind that little, maybe a
little kick. Yeah.
I bet I will. Well, thank you guys all for tuning in and watching us. Thank you so much to our 500 subscribers.
Yes.
All right, let's hit 100,000 by this time next month. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed cooking with us tonight. I hope that you make this recipe, and I hope you love it. That's all I got to say for the moment.
Yeah. Please, all those who haven't subscribed, please subscribe.
There's a million.
Yeah, check out cherryhillhomecooking.com, and we'll see you in the next video.
Ciao.
Bye.
Oh my God, that's good.